We thought we'd drop in and play a little baseball for a day before going back out on the road. It's the makeup game from Sunday. Welcome, ladies. Hope you have a wonderful time today. That's the coolest fan in the yard right there. So it's the Nats and the Cubs to wrap up that crazy 4-game series. Many rain delays, some cancellations over the weekend. So here we are right back at Nationals Park. The schedule has been absolutely nuts lately, made a whole lot more tolerable by the fact the Nats have won 5 in a row.
Yeah, they're playing good baseball, and hey, if it was easy, everybody would do it. The schedule's been tough, but the Nats have been playing well. They're not giving up. When you look at who they've played and how they've gone about it, the waiting around, I think the hardest part in all this, we see doubleheader, but you don't see all the time behind the scenes where mentally it's draining. Are we playing? Are we not playing? They're all looking at the radar apps. They're all wondering. They're coming out in the dugout. The energy spent wondering if you're going to play, and then you come out and win a couple of doubleheaders. It's good stuff. They're not quitting. They're playing right to the end.
Yeah, meanwhile, the Cubs are in a big-time slump. Milwaukee took 2 out of 3 of them. Anthony Rizzo put on his visiting uniform to fly to Washington last night. He still has it on, I suppose. So let's look at the pitching matchup today. Mike Montgomery was going to go for them in a game that got rained out, and Joe Ross got a little action last week, but that game was rained out after he pitched almost 2 innings.
Yeah, Mr. Versatile on the right, Montgomery, 19 relief appearances this year, 15 starts for the Cubs. And how about Joe Ross in the rain-shortened outing, his first time back off of Tommy John? Just an inning and 2/3, 24 pitches, 15 per strikes, but he was throwing 97 miles an hour. We haven't seen that uptick in velocity, and we talked to guys coming back from Tommy John surgery. Sometimes they're stronger.
Yeah, let's see what his velocity is today, and the Nats, well, not that great against lefties. They were pretty good against Nola last night. Bryce took him deep, his 33rd in the second. And then Juan Soto would really take one out of the bank. That's against the lefty later on. So the Nats swept the Phillies, maybe dealt them a fatal blow. And if they beat the Cubs today, Chicago's lead is down to a half game in the NL Central. The Nats are 37-36. Cubs on the road 39-35. Not that hot today, but look at the humidity. Sun coming out. Yeah, it's the sun. And it's enough to put a song to, I suppose. Here it comes. So here is the Cubs lineup. They still lead the National League in hitting at 261, but slumping a bit. Rizzo likes this ballpark, 330 career here. He's 4 for 8 against Joe Ross. A lot of their regulars in there. Victor Caratini, the catcher. And they've got Chris Bryant playing right field. That guy moves all over the place. It's 4:05, right on the dot. Here comes Joe Ross, first pitch. And Rizzo's going to hit it out to left center. He's going to round the bag. Robles with a strong throw, and the runner is out. Victor Robles getting the start, and he just gunned out Rizzo at second.
What a throw by Victor Robles. First pitch hacked by Anthony Rizzo. And the strong throw by Robles gets him as he slides into second base. Are they going to review it? Joe Madden's still looking down, and they're going to play on. What a play to start this one up by Victor Robles. All right, that's how this one starts. This could be a fun one.
Yeah, one pitch and a ton of action. Next up is Chris Bryant, hitting .277. And he first pitch swings high in the air. Ryan Zimmerman to have a look. There is a breeze coming right in from center field, so it's going to blow some foul balls around and some fair balls for that matter as well.
So Anthony Rizzo was 0 for the Brewers series. He comes up hacking, hits a slicer. I think the play's made by cutting it off. Talk about the arm strength all you want, but to be able to get to that ball backhanded before it gets into the gap, set and throw. A lot of good stuff going on in that play.
Second major league outfield assist for Robles. Boy, they're swinging at everything. Ryan Zimmerman took him a second to find it. He got back. So 3 pitches, 3 swings, a base hit and 2 outs. So for Joe Ross, first start this year.
Yeah, there's the arsenal. He was in that rain-shortened game last time. 24 pitches, 15 strikes, inning and 2/3. Gave up a hit to Rizzo. Struck out David Bodie, hit Chris Bryant. But the news in that one was his fastball was as high as 97 miles an hour.
Here's Murphy. Yeah, you talked about Rizzo. That base hit broke up an 0 for 16. Murphy steps in. Daniel hitless his last 12 at-bats. Still hitting .260 as a Cub with 4 homers and 7 RBIs in 19 games.
Yeah, Rizzo and Murphy were combined 0 for 23 in the Brewers series, and Javi Baez was 1 for 8. So those 3 combined were 1 for 31 in the Brewers series.
Wow. And their lead down to 1. The Nats could shave it even closer for Milwaukee with a win today. And Murphy's going to get jammed, and back to the left it goes.
All right, here's the Nats defense. You already saw Victor Robles on display. Adrian Sanchez gets the start at second base, and Spencer Keyboom the nod behind the plate. It's a cool glove, huh?
Yeah, cool glove, great arm. 1-1 to Murphy, hitting .288 overall. And Joe Ross on the attack, season series. 3-2 Nats at this point. Yeah, 3-3 actually. This will be the rubber game, completing the 4-game series here. And it's that time of the day when the shadows will be creeping into the batter's box from the third base side early in the game. For Joe, 46th career start. He's 17-13. And the 4th time out in his career against the Cubs. Still looking for a first W against them. Infield straightaway. Robles toward left center. And Murphy getting his money's worth, first time up today.
See if Joe decides on that slider at the back knee before the Tommy John surgery. That used to be his pitch to lefties with 2 strikes. Back knee slider. Started in the zone and break it back. Down and in.
Had him reaching and a pop-up left side. Rendon there. And Joe Ross, first pitch he gave up a hit. Robles, though, took care of that with the outstanding cutoff of the ball in the gap. Right on the money with the throw. And then Ryan Zimmerman fought the sun to make a good play on a pop fly right after that. Flash and D early. Here come the Nats with the bats. We're going to see a baseball game today until a couple of days ago when this one was announced. The Nats are 6th in the league in hitting, 5th in runs, 5th in homers, and Ryan Zimmerman, he's one of the guys who does wear out left-handed pitching. Overall, Ryan, against all kinds of pitchers, 32 ball games, hitting .321, 25 RBIs lately. A lot of extra base hits, pretty much the regular guys out there except at second base. Sanchez against the lefty for Defoe and Keyboom for Matt Wieters. First pitch, Mike Montgomery to Victor Robles. Ball 1.
And Mr. Versatile for the Cubs, 19 relief appearances this year, 15 starts. This is number 16. A fastball, cutter, curveball change. Last start on the 4th against Milwaukee took the 5-4 loss, gave up just 2 runs on 3 hits over 5. Opponents hitting .271 on the year against Mike Montgomery.
Yeah, first career start against the Nats. Couple of times in relief, including once this year, totaling an inning and 2/3. Victor Robles, this time around the big league, 6 games, a walk, couple of strikeouts, 1 for 11 so far. And he skies one deep out to right center. Chris Bryant approaching the track.
Here's your defense for the Cubs today. Bodie, Happ, Bryant the outfield. Russell Murphy up the middle. Baez, Rizzo at the corners. And Victor Caratini doing the catching for the Cubs. Chris Bryant in right field today.
You said they move their guys around, don't they? Trey Turner has been on base 19 of his last 21 games. Scoring a lot of runs lately. He's up to 8th in the league with 90. His next hit will be number 160. And he hits it hard enough for a hit, but it's right at Addison Russell. 2 down. First time up for Bryce Harper. Got the thing going last night in Philly.
Hitter number 33 on the year. Just a low fastball down the zone, and watch where this one lands. Are they going to pitch to Bryce Harper in this series? That's the question. In this one-game series, excuse me.
1 for 1 with a walk against Montgomery previously. Fastball, a good one, inside edge. Addison Russell alone on the left side. Baez is overlapped and he's on the right side in the shift. Harper now at 319 since the All-Star break. 40 RBIs on 10 homers. And after seeing Russell back way up, he did offer and took a breaking ball for a strike, 0-2. Going to be tough to hit here in a little while. Early offense would be a big advantage for either team.
So Anthony Rizzo last night wore his visiting uni on the plane. Follow him on Instagram. Had the eye black on and everything.
Bryce Harper with an inside out swing. And then the wind pushes it to the right of David Bodie. So 3 balls in the air. And the Nats go in order against Mike Montgomery. Guys are swinging early in the count today.
Velocity increase on Joe Ross's fastball that Bob and FP were talking about last half inning. We've also seen his changeup up a few miles per hour, registering at 90 in that first inning. They were showing up as sinkers on the big board here because they were so fast. Davey Martinez noted that he'd like to actually see Joe Ross's changeup a little lower on the velocity scale, ideally wanting it 8 to 9 miles per hour slower than the fastball, he says. So if his fastball's sitting around 95, 96, you want the changeup around 86, 87 to make sure the changeup is doing just that, changing up from the heater. Now, obviously, Joe's still very fresh back from his Tommy John surgery, barely gotten his feet wet, but that's something Davey Martinez is going to be watching for, guys, the velocity on his changeup.
Yeah, and first pitch, he gives Baez a slider, and the free swinger missed it by plenty.
That's just a feel pitch. And the feel is probably the last thing that comes when you're coming off Tommy John surgery, and how you hold the pitch and the confidence in that pitch to hold it loosely. And if it's a circle change, those last 3 fingers act as brakes, decelerate it. Same arm speed, hold it loose, and then throw it just like a fastball. If you try to throw it slower as a hitter, I'm going to see it. I'm going to see you slow down your delivery. I'm going to see your arm speed slow down, and I'll recognize it sooner.
Outside, 2-1. Baez still sitting on 30 home runs, 100 RBIs, like he did most of the weekend before the Cubs departed. 1 RBI behind Eugenio Suarez of Cincinnati, and tied for second with Trevor Story of Colorado. Rockies beating the Diamondbacks today. They had an amazing walk-off win last night. They got some mojo going out there in Denver, 15 games over 500. That's where the Nats will end the season. Let's hope both teams have something to play for that weekend. The Nats will have to be really good for the next 2 weeks to make that happen. 3-1 to Baez. Outfield around to the right a bit. This one up the middle. Long way for Sanchez. And he plays it very smoothly. Nice throw on the run.
Yeah, good scouting. He's already shading toward the middle, and then the chopper over the mountain. There's no hits on the ground up the middle anymore. As a player, you used to work your whole life to hit the ball up the middle. Even though this was a chopper, gave him time, there's just no base hits over the bag anymore. Nice play by Sanchez on the shortstop side.
Next up, the catcher, Victor Caratini. Atlanta's off today, so the Nats with a win would make it back to 7.5 out, which would tie them with the Phillies for second, and then pretty much need a sweep there. A couple coming up after that at Miami. Just take it 1 inning at a time, one at bat, 1 pitch at a time, and see if they can keep the winning streak going. That's way inside, and Caratini got hit. He's aboard with 1 out.
So remember, Steven Strasburg last night picked up a 3-pin spare. I think that was a 2-pin. He left one. So this is an open frame. 1, 2. Yep. Left one standing. Never seen that before. Hit the hitter, the catcher, and the umpire in the same pitch last night.
Here's David Bodie, the left fielder. A ball drilled to right, and Bryce Harper is right there. 2 down. And Joe Madden, who often hits his pitcher 8th, has Addison Russell here, then Montgomery behind him. Ian Happ at the bottom of the lineup. Give themselves a little breathing room. The Cubs move their day game to a night game tomorrow. They've got the Reds coming into Wrigley. Russell at 256. And seeking his first career hit against Joe Ross. Ball sliding to the outside edge.
If the Braves play 500, they have 16 games left. They go 8-8. The Nats would have to win out and go 16-0. They've already run 5 in a row, so that would be 21 in a row to force a 1-game playoff. So you're telling me there's a chance?
You never know.
Braves have the Nats, and then they have the Cardinals. So.
Joe Ross pumping strikes, and Russell fouls another. So Joe Ross, first inning, 10 pitches, 9 strikes. 11 more here so far. Short lead by Caratini. Zimmerman playing a little off the bag. And this one popped up, had him reaching. Joe Ross has made some good pitches in his first 2 innings. Stranding 1 Cub, it'll be Rendon, then the rookie legend Soto. Zimmerman, bottom of the 2nd, coming up. Masson, brought to you by PNC Bank. There's no better time to act than today. PNC, make today the day. Comfortable day here, a little muggy, but hey, it's dry and we're playing baseball. That's the best news of all. 4-5-6, Anthony Rendon went baseball version of a double-double last night, had a pair of them. 39 on the year, 2nd highest in the league. And since the start of the 16th season, only 2 players with more American leaguers. So right now, Trevor Story, Matt Carpenter, and Nick Markakis have 40. Rendon checks in with 39. And his batting average is 10th highest in the league at 298 because he's hit .339 over the last 5 weeks. He'll face Montgomery for the first time. Turner, Harper, and Zimmerman, the Nats in the lineup today, who have faced the lefty before. Eaton, Reynolds, and Wieters, the guys on the bench. Next homer will be number 20.
Cubs got to their hotel around 3 a.m. last night.
And to his left, Addison Russell.
Nats pulled into the parking lot about 1 a.m. last night, so both teams playing on a lot of coffee here today. It's supposed to be easy, though. If it was easy, everyone would do it, right?
Yeah, nothing comes easy this time of the year. Maybe unless you're the Cleveland Indians with a 14.5 game lead in a weak division. Everybody else, the Red Sox are up 10 on the Yankees, but there's a wild card race for New York there. All the other races have a lot of things to be decided. Juan Soto has been called out. Home plate umpire Pat Hoberg's going to rule. The bunt came up and got him after he had left the batter's box.
Yeah, that's a good call. Got it right. Tried to bring it with him. He was out of the box and the ball hit him, so he's out. I think he was bunting this to second base, and then watch, out of the batter's box. Hits him right there. It's a good call. How do you score that, Mr. Scorebook?
2 unassisted. Nearest fielder gets the putout. And you can write INT for batter interference, whatever notation you want to make, but it goes down as 2 unassisted.
I think Juan Soto should be benched. That's probably the only thing he's done wrong in the last 3 months right there. You just saw it.
Yep.
Bench him.
Ryan Zimmerman hasn't done anything wrong for the last month and a half. His batting average for the season is flirting with 270 now. As I mentioned when we did the lineups, 25 RBIs his last 32 games.
It was a good idea, though. Everybody was back on the right side. If he got that by Montgomery, he was walking at first.
Looking for RBI number 400 in the park. He opened with a walk-off homer. This one spinning over to the right side for Rizzo. He gets it to Montgomery. Both pitchers have had pretty quick innings so far. No score into the third.
Through the 26th, the Nats are hosting their inaugural Teddy's Garage Sale when they take on the Marlins. Fans who purchase a special ticket to the game also receive their choice of available garage sale items, including giveaways from 2018 and the past seasons. Visit Nationals.com for more details. I have some old chairs maybe I can bring by for the price tag on it. So check this out. Somebody pointed this out to me on Twitter. It's a great point. Every Nats player in the lineup today has only played in the major leagues for your Washington Nationals. Check it out.
That's cool.
Every single guy homegrown. Cage-free, organic, homegrown. All of them. That is super cool and speaks volumes about the strength of this organization, the scouting, the development, and to have 9 guys in your starting lineup that have only played for you at the major league level.
That is very cool.
That's a testimony to this whole organization.
Mike Montgomery is 3 for 27 this year. 9 for 68 career. Joe Ross, first 2 innings, 23 pitches, and only 6 out of the strike zone.
And Dan's only been a big league broadcaster for the Nats.
Yeah. We were scouting Dan as a young journalism student in high school, second year, and we were made aware of him and kept our eyes on him for a number of years.
Had a cup of coffee with the Giants, but most of it's been with you here.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And had him reaching, and this one right to Anthony Rendon. Joe Ross, first 8 batters, 1 hit, 1 hit batter, and now he goes after Ian Happ in the 9-hole. So we mentioned 23 over 17 to start the inning. Now it's 27 over 20. Ian Happ is 1 for 3 against Joe. Checks in at 233. Sanchez well out into right field on the shift, and that's a little away.
Yeah, the Cubs' last off day was August 20th.
Wow.
That's true off day.
Yeah.
Nats' last true off day was August 30th. And the Cubs have 17 games left, only 4 outside of Chicago, 10 at Wrigley Field. So obviously they play the White Sox one more time.
Yeah, Rizzo won't have to put on the road uniform and the eye black much down the stretch.
He was the only guy in the plane last night. I follow him on Instagram that had full metal jacket on. He had the cleats, the gray pants, the top eye black on the plane. And I have a feeling he didn't bring any civilian clothes with him because he wore that to the ballpark today.
Yeah.
He got off the bus on that. He had his cleats on. He had his bag in his hand. I don't think he even brought any other clothes.
Yeah, he just went on a short barnstorming trip. Good sinker by Joe Ross. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I don't know if he showered after the Brewers game or not last night, but yeah.
That's his business and those sitting around him on the plane.
Yeah, they knew.
I would imagine he did because he did slip out of the home uni into the road. And the 2-2 with 1 out to Happ.
Used to do that in Legion ball in junior college. If you were winning games, you didn't wash your uni. You just come to the next game with that thing dirty, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Superstition, don't change a thing. Although they lost last night, so that was in the white uni.
3-2 with Rizzo on deck. Didn't miss by much. Cubs have their 3rd base runner. One of them didn't survive on the bases. That was Rizzo after that 1st inning single, first pitch of the game. No better time to act than today. PNC make today the day. Remember Will Crow? He was 11-0 at Potomac before he was promoted to AA Harrisburg. And because of that great record, 16 ball games, he is the Carolina League Pitcher of the Year. A nice feather in the cap for Will and the Nationals organization. All brought to you by PNC Bank. Make today the day. He might be the most mentioned guy we had on our minor league reports this summer.
Well, till Juan Soto got called up for sure.
Yeah. Peanuts went 14-2 in games in which he started this year. Time given. Rizzo got it from Pat Hoberg.
You know, we failed to talk about because we're so caught up in the team stats with Juan Soto that he hit 362 with 14 home runs in the minor leagues this year before he got called up. We forget about that because of what he's done at this level, but same number of home runs as Bryce.
Rizzo hits one a mile high on the infield. Trey Turner drifting with it as it drifts in the breeze. 2 down. Chris Bryant for the Cubs here in the 3rd is next. Everything working for Joe so far. Bryant popped one up short right field first time. Ryan Zimmerman went straight out near the line, had to battle the sun, and made a last-second adjustment to grab it for the 2nd out right after that Rizzo base hit and the throw out from left center by Victor Robles. Snap throw, key boom. Happ back in plenty of time. Happ is 7 of 9 stealing.
StatCast AI powered by AWS going to show you Happ's lead, 12, 11, 12. Right in between 11 and 12.
Hops off the bag, does not try to advance, and a big time breaking ball by Joe Ross for the swing and the miss. Joe pitched 74 innings last year before going on the DL. Had an ERA of 5.01 in 13 starts. He's a guy who relies on keeping the ball down and away from some right-handers. He had given up 16 home runs, so an indication that he was not 100%. Runner on the move. Kieboom, an accurate throw, and the call is out from Roberto Ortiz. That call was made before Sanchez put the glove down to make sure the runner stayed on the bag. So evidently the top of the third is over. Cubs are having a look.
Trey Turner's hanging out. He had the best view of it, and he ain't going off the field. So let's check it out again. A bigger lead for Happ there. Kind of tipped the fact that he was going. Good throw. And maybe he tagged him on the shoulder while he was sliding by the base because there was nothing connected to the base right there. And if he hit him, he's out.
Yeah.
Everybody knows you have to have something connected to the base. Watch. Did you get him on the shoulder there? Yeah, he's out. Saw his jersey move.
That's it. Cubs will not challenge, and the inning is over. So the Nats have played some good defense, and Kieboom a rocket down to second base.
His throws stay true. Usually 4 seams right on the money. And he likes to throw out guys from his knees. Not an easy pitch to deal with that time standing up. And a good tag by Adrian Sanchez to nick Ian Happ on the shoulder as he's sliding by. Look at the throw. 3 hits the other day for Spencer. His first career home run without a tooth, if you missed it. And a great throw there to get Ian Happ to end the 3rd inning. He's been impressive.
Yes. Had a base hit after his home run the other night, so 9 for 22 now. 41%. That is outstanding. Adrian Sanchez, 3 hits a few days ago, 7 on the year in 18 ball games. And then Montgomery really pulled the string on him there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Good changeup.
Sanchez, Kieboom, Ross, bottom 3. So the Cubs have had 3 base runners, and 2 of them retired after they had touched first base. This one lifted out to center, fairly deep. Happ is onto the track. Adrian Sanchez continues to show some interesting power slightly the other way. Don't forget about Faith Day. It's September 22nd. It's a Saturday after the Nats and Mets play at 4:05. Post-game faith celebration featuring Pastor David Platt. Music from the NCC Worship Band. Nationals players will be sharing their faith with our fans who stay after the game. So join us. Visit nationals.com/faith.
Let me read that one tomorrow.
You can read whatever you want.
I mean, if the promo doesn't go up in flames while I'm reading it, I want to try that one.
Be watching for lightning strikes or anything else that might come along.
I think I need to read that one, maybe.
Keyboom at 210 with a recent offensive surge. The ball bounces.
He missed his window of opportunity the other day. We thought, in case you missed it, that he spit out a tooth as he was walking up, swung at the first pitch in his first major league home run.
That ball's hit pretty hard out to deep center. Happ back, and it's number 2 for Keyboom. See you later. His first one to right field in Philly, and this one slightly to the right to a deep part of Nationals Park. 1-0.
He's got all his teeth on that one.
Hit it into the teeth of a breeze, too.
Yeah, the other day, if you missed it, he spit out his gum. We thought it was his tooth. He went deep on the first pitch. He pointed to a tooth that he lost earlier in the clubhouse, and we told him, don't let the facts get in the way of a good story. Could have been a legend, but this time with all of his teeth. It's his second home run, so there goes the no-hitter. There goes the shutout. Spencer Keyboom with his second home run. Career, 414 the other way.
That's impressive. Montgomery gives up his 8th of the year.
Yep, he even knows where the camera is. Look at him.
Well, here's Joe Ross. Joe can swing it. 188 career hitter. A couple of RBIs. That was the Nationals' first base hit, by the way. A 4-base hit. And Ross, 1 hopper. Montgomery has it. Kind of gooses it over to Rizzo. 2 outs.
So here's your stat of the day. The Nats are 56-23 when they score first. 33 games over 500. On the other side of that coin, had the Cubs scored first, the Nats are 18-49, 31 games under 500. And in all my years here, I've never seen that much of a discrepancy in scoring first or not scoring first with this ball club.
Victor Robles, fly ball to right first time. Oh! What did that hit?
Did it hit his
bat,
bat?
evidently.
Couldn't tell there. It's 0-2, so it hit his bat. All right. It was an 0-2.
So 1-2 now. I mean, that was a weird sound if that was just the catcher's mitt. Some pretty good takes here by Victor Robles, and the Count is full. Wouldn't mind seeing his speed aboard with Turner coming up, 2 outs. A couple of guys who could restart a rally. Mercedes-Benz showed you the entire at bat. Here's the wrap up. Not quite yet. He fouls it off.
I'm thinking hard, but my brain's just not working today. Is there any team in baseball that has 2 guys hitting back-to-back this fast?
That's a good question.
We don't know who's faster, Victor or Trey.
There's a solid clean hit to left. His second since his return to the big leagues. All right, Robles aboard. Great speed with 2 outs, and here comes just as fast or more so Trey Turner.
Pretty good at bat here. Laid off some pitches, and to his credit, he hasn't been playing a lot. This is a guy that in the minor leagues used to playing every day. Adam Eaton's been swinging it well. Spencer Keyboom approves. Now the fun starts. Does he get a read on Mike Montgomery here and go quick?
And if you're wondering, Robles was 6 for 24 hitting last September. He hasn't stolen a base in the big leagues yet, at least in regular season. And good secondary lead, reading that ball in the dirt, and off he went.
I looked up and he was there. Good read. Look at the speed. No throw.
Wild pitch, runner in scoring position, 2 outs. Cubs are playing really deep in center. Pretty deep is Bryant and right. I don't know if anybody has a chance to throw Robles out, even on a 1-hopper. Trey Turner lined out hard to short first time, and he lines out hard to first. Rizzo that time. The Nats, for the second time in 4 days, Key boom. This one almost straight away center field. His second in the big leagues. 1-0 Washington. Here as we honor our wounded warriors, their families, those who put their lives on the line for us every day. It's all brought to you by DynCorp International. It's our troop recognition. At DynCorp, we serve today for a better tomorrow. Middle innings upon us. Chris Bryant was at the plate. How about Spencer Keyboom taking over the game for a couple of minutes? He throws out a runner, and then 1 out later when the Nats bat, he hits one out of the yard. So 1-0, Bryant back in there for his second AB. Popped up to Zimmerman first time. And Sanchez just jumped and ran from one side of the second base bag to the pull side.
Nats Twitter has the video of the home run. It says, looks like the Tooth Fairy brought Spencer another home run.
Well, I think they should put a pillow in his locker, and every time he hits one, he'll find some money under it. Strike call outside edge as Joe Ross was able to cut it out there. 40 pitches, 25 strikes so far. Working well with Spencer Kieboom.
I mean, if you're a catcher, though, shouldn't you just leave the tooth out for the rest of the season? Just own that look. He said he was eating a baguette in the clubhouse and kind of broke it and just pulled the whole thing off.
Yeah, that's what catchers do. They just pull them out.
Pull teeth out.
Bryant jammed, and he's going to drop one out there into right field. So with the Nats in a shift, nobody a chance to grab that one.
All right, thank you, fans. September 20th through the 26th, Fan Appreciation Week at the ballpark. Last homestand of the season. Mets will be here, Marlins will be here. So the 20th through the 26th, we give you prizes, all kinds of cool stuff going on at the yard. Get your tickets at nationals.com.
Daniel Murphy popped up to third. Had an extended at bat first time, fouled off a lot of pitches against Joe. So as Zametti was 0 for 6 against Ross, and now as a Cub 0 for 1. Rendon, the shallowest infielder except for Zimmerman holding the runner. Double play depth, Turner and Sanchez. Kieboom just moved to the outside edge, and the fastball was delivered right to him. Rendon has backed up a bit on the left side. Murphy likes to shoot it over there. Kieboom away again, and Murphy shoots one left side foul. 1-2.
Yeah, we were talking to Max the other day if he paid attention to Daniel Murphy when he was here and how would he pitch Murph. And he's seeing tell us.
Comes into play now.
He said he did pay attention to it and he knows how to pitch Murph and what he would do, but he wasn't telling us. It's funny. As teammates, you talk about things like that. I used to tease Pedro Martinez all the time. I said, "You're a thumber that throws 97. If I ever face you, I'm going to sit on your changeup." Faced him in Boston his first year, and he threw me all fastballs. He remembered that conversation. So the great ones pay attention to their own hitters as well as the guys they're facing.
One ball, two strikes. Murphy definitely with an idea as they continue to pitch it out there. Right now, thanks to a certain extent of cloud cover, the shadows really not a factor for the hitters here in the fourth inning at nearly 5 p.m. local. One ball, two strikes still. Now Kieboom moves inside, and that was close. Count evens, 2-2. Nissan pitchcast.
A little low, had the right idea. Tried to run back the fastball at 93. Big pitch here. It'll give Joe Madden a chance to start Chris Bryant in a 3-2 count if you don't seal the deal right now.
Big RBI guy on deck. And Murphy continues to fight Ross in 2 at-bats today. So we arrive at the 5 o'clock hour. First pitch was right on time at 4:05. One swing, the difference in this one. Spencer Kieboom, 1 out homer. Bottom of the third, his second of the week, his second career. Meanwhile, Ross has given up 2 hits. Trying everything he can here on Murphy. High in the air, left center for Robles. Great battle again, and Joe Ross has won 2 in a row against Daniel with fly balls. Baez is next.
That's where I'd be real careful if I'm Joe Ross. Yeah, it's just the 4th inning. It's still relatively early, but you got a guy that's hitting 290, 30 home runs, 100 RBIs. He's 1 for his last 9. Sometimes that's when you're super dangerous because you feel like based on the year he's had, he's due.
First time up. Sanchez, good job to get his bouncer up the middle. Throw across his body to get him. That was the first out in the second. And he's going to hit this one hard the other way. Just barely fair. Takes a funny carom. That'll let Bryant score. Bryce is going to throw it home anyway. Strong throw. But the Cubs have tied the game. Baez, RBI number 101.
It didn't hit it real hard, just placed it well. Looked like a fastball away, maybe off the end. You see the bat vibrate right at the end of the bat. It's got the inside-out rotation. Watch the hop. Some serious English on that ball. Bryce wasn't anticipating it hitting the metal fence there down the right field line. And that carom and the way it kicked off there hard allowed Bryant to score all the way from first.
Baez, 76th extra base hit of the year. He's at second, 1 out. Victor Caratini now, the catcher. Ross hit him with a pitch first time.
I don't think I've seen a ball hop that violently down that corner all year. That had some kind of spin on it.
Time given, and Joe able to shut it down. Turner right behind Baez out there.
You got to keep him close. As impressive as Javi Baez is with the bat and the glove, he's just as impressive running the bases. The guy's fearless, and he'll take chances. Educated chances that usually work if you don't watch him play every day. The guy loves to run the bases aggressively. .2-0 pitch. This will be pushed by the breeze. Would have been out of play anyway. 2-1. Remember, Caratini hit that big grand slam the last time the Cubs were here. It was on a changeup.
It was in the 4th inning of Game 2 Saturday, and the Nats were able to come back and win when they pitched later to Harper. And the Nats got the sweep. 2-1.
Scoreboard says sinker. That was a changeup by Joe Ross. Watch the location. 88, good fade to it.
There's nobody there. No way for Sanchez to get to it. Into the gap, the short gap, and the Cubs lead 2-1. Caratini's 21st RBI scores Baez.
We've only seen Victor Caratini a couple times this year, but he's been impressive. Tried to double up on the changeup. You see the release? This one was 89. Just a well-placed ground ball. Sanchez can't get there, and just like that, the Cubs are up 2-1. Good at bat by Caratini.
Yeah, 1 hit in 3 innings, and now 3 out of 4 batters have hit safely. That's probably the hardest hit of the 3. And here's David Bodie, who lined out hard to Harper first time. Double play in order. Runner aboard with 1 out.
You know, Joe on his rehab stints, I think he had 6 rehab starts, hit the 100-pitch mark. But I feel like the 100-pitch mark at the major league level a little different than the minor league level. There's a lot more stress and concentration involved on every pitch, especially against a team like the Cubs.
That ball is well hit to right. Harper back. Bryce measuring it, and the one-handed grab. That ball had some slice going a little bit away from Bryce. So Bodie flies out deep, 2 down. Next up, Addison Russell.
So my point is that 58 pitches with the adrenaline and trying to get through a lineup like the Cubs, you know, might be like 100 pitches in the minor leagues when you're just kind of relaxed out there working on things, trying to build up your endurance. Going a lot faster right now for Joe Ross. You wonder if fatigue might be a factor here early.
Here's Addison Russell. Popped up to Turner. Well, the dugout thinking what you're thinking. Tim Collins has popped up and is throwing. Pitcher is next. Ball 2. Getting some gusts of wind. I'm sure you can hear it through our microphones around the ballpark.
Is that the hurricane?
I don't know. Those winds are coming from up north. We're looking okay for Friday, Saturday in Atlanta for now. Sunday is iffy. Did he go? He did. He gets the count back even here in the 4th inning. This one popped up. What will the breeze do with it? Ryan Zimmerman has room. Calmly takes it. And the Cubs will pick up a couple on hits by Bryant, Baez, and Caratini. The 4th inning of Nationals baseball. Brought to you by the all-wheel drive RAV4 Toyota. What drives you? Visit buyattoyota.com for great deals. See how much you could save. Geico President's Race, nice lead for Tom. Then a nice lead for Abe. And then coming down the stretch, and this happened moments ago, I thought Teddy was going to win it. Looks like George by a jersey. So he breaks a tie with Thomas Jefferson there, winning his 26th of the year. Abe 15, Teddy 7. And we only have 6 more. Harper coming up. Let's go inside the numbers presented by PNC. Make today the day. Most homers with exit velocity of 110 miles an hour or more. Bryce has done it 9 times, including that rocket in Philly. And you look at that list, and the top 4 guys you pretty much expect. And Bryce, the only National Leaguer on the list. No swing, says 37-year veteran crew chief Jerry Davis down at third. Ball 1 to Bryce, fly ball to left first time. Shallow on the left side, alone over there is Addison Russell. Strike call from Pat Hoberg. 1-1.
Jerry Davis has been in the big leagues longer than every player in the field's been alive.
Some of my old buddies from St. Louis played against Jerry Davis, and he was one of the better amateur baseball players in the Gateway City back in his playing days.
So good that he became an umpire.
I know. He's the guy who threw out Beltray last year for moving the on-deck circle.
Jerry's a good guy.
Off speed. Bryce Harper, swing and a miss. First strikeout today for Mike Montgomery. Rendon and Soto the next 2 here in the bottom of the 4th. Anthony, ground ball to short first time. The Nats have 2 hits, the Key Boom homer, the Robles single, both in the 3rd. Ball had some nice cutting action down and into Anthony. 25 homers last year, 20 the year before that, 21 back in 14. So he's been a regular visitor to the 20 home run club. On the verge of it again here. Ball 2.
Are you channeling it?
I'm hoping.
Are you making the passive aggressive call here that he's going deep? I'm in.
If he gets something he can drive. It's 2 of them inside, 1 upstairs. Counts 3-1.
Good cutter that Mike Montgomery's going today. Going today. I mean, he's starting it right down the middle. Watch the late movement under the hands. This looks like it's middle, and then just takes off at the end.
Nasty on the Mercedes-Benz pitch cast. And he missed in there. 1 out walk. Juan Soto into the batter's box, and here's Dan with more.
Bob, people are always looking for comps when a young player comes up to the major leagues. What established major leaguer does he remind you of? And Steven Strasburg threw out one after last night's game that carries a lot of weight with it. Steven grew up in Southern California. Tony Gwynn was his idol growing up, and he said watching Juan Soto now is reminiscent of watching Tony Gwynn as a kid. He said the way that Soto is able to recognize close pitches off the plate, spit on them, he says recognizing them out of the hand is what he notices from Soto, that he just eliminates pitches very early on that most young hitters, most established hitters will swing at or, offer at in some way. He's been really impressed with Juan Soto, as we all have.
Amazing comparison.
I think he's a 200 hit guy if he plays every day. And then you look at Tony Gwynn's 1997. He had 220 hits, 17 homers, 119 driven in. I think Juan has more power than Tony had, but Tony just had that ability to stop the ball halfway, look where the defense was playing, and you could not shift on Tony Gwynn. The only shift you could do on Tony was put 4 guys in the 5.5 hole between short and third.
Well, to your point, Soto, first 100 games, 108 hits through last night.
If you missed this one, it said 401. We thought it might have been further. Juan watched it for a while, but when you hit it that far, I guess that's okay, especially in today's game. I think where Tony separates himself that year I'm talking about, 1997, 220 hits. He struck out 43 times in 651 plate appearances.
Soto this year, 70 walks, 89 strikeouts. That's as good as it gets these days. But then Montgomery's going to get it by him. His second K of the day. 2 down here in the 4th.
He's got nasty stuff going on here early. It's just the 4th inning, but his cutter has been late and sharp. And fastball's got enough giddy up to it where you have to respect it.
Ryan Zimmerman. Montgomery just kind of faded one away from Ryan first time, and he hit it over to the right side to Rizzo on the ground. Rizzo well off the bag with Rendon, leading off with him over there. And that'll even, won't even the count. It's 0-2. Pat Hoberg took a look at it. I don't think Ryan liked the call, and he's in the hole now.
Both of those are not strikes.
And Ryan saw that curveball coming back. He had 2 driven in last night.
Number 13 straight away. Well, there's a base hit up the middle. And there's the RBI. Here's the tater. Oh, fastball belt high right down Main Street. It looked like Herrera caught that at first. All right, DC Lexus dealers donating $250 to the Children's National Health System for the first 200 home runs hit by the Nats this year. Lexus, experience amazing.
Nats are at 175 with key booms today. Two. So after a couple of strike calls that were not in there, Ryan's had to really battle to get it back to 2-2 here. 264 career homers with that long one last night. Just able to stay alive again. There's a rocket to left, ball hooking and caught by David Bodie. Ryan gashing one to left and an RBI extra base hit taken away. Pretty nice day by Spencer Keyboom. Here we go, top five, 2-1 Cubs. Pitcher versus pitcher here. And Montgomery up there hacking. Fouls it. Out of play, left side. Now Montgomery has only given up hits in 1 inning today. Record coming in 4-5, 3.85 in 34 games, 15 starts.
He got Tater in his career, and he looked like he was trying for number 2 with that swing.
That's a fair ball, and Ryan Zimmerman keeps it from being a double down the line. That thing right over the bag.
Well, he just got robbed, so you're not going to get a hit by Ryan after that play to end the 4th by David Bodie. Nice play. Joe Ross getting over there. Right in the palm of the glove. It stuck nicely. Nice play.
Ian Happ is next. We've had some good D on both sides today. Ryan says, you guys take one away from me, I'll take one from you. Ian Happ walked, caught stealing first time on the throw by Keyboom that we saw during our little highlight segment coming back from break right there. And Happ's going to launch one out of play left side. For Joe Ross, 4 innings, 63 pitches, 41 strikes. Montgomery 58 over 35. Jim Collins was up last inning. He is again, and he has company. Two-two. Rizzo coming up and then Bryant, so the leash probably pretty short here as Joe embarks on his 5th inning. And he lost him. 1-out walk. Happ, the only walks for Joe Ross today.
And that was up. It looks like Davey Martinez going to stick with Joe Ross here against Anthony Rizzo. He was thinking about it. I was looking down there. They were talking.
Yeah, it kind of looked like Collins for Rizzo and then Cordero for Bryant. And Davey will give Joe an opportunity to pitch around some tough hitting right here. Rizzo 1 for 2 today in career, 5 for 10 against Joe. Been swinging early count both times. He hits another hard one out to center, and Robles over toward the gap. Got a little greedy, wanted to try for the double play. And with the arm and with the speed, Victor's put on a show here today.
Yeah, both plays versus Anthony Rizzo. Rizzo swung at the first pitch of the game, hit a slicer in the left center field gap. Robles cut it off, threw him out at second. This one in the other gap, and he lays out on the ball that was hooking just a little bit away from him. And if he misses that, it's probably 3 bases with the run scoring, but he had a good track to it, made a nice play. Joe Ross is thankful that Victor Robles is out there today. He has made some nice plays.
Here's Chris Bryant. Blooped one to right first time. Came around to score on the Baez double. Robles a little toward right center against this right-handed batter. And he jammed him. Pop up. Zimmerman checking his surroundings. He knows this area as well as anybody. Ryan's made a couple of plays over there today. And Joe Ross battles through 5. 2-1 ball game still.
Robles is here today in the starting lineup. This was the first pitch of the game. Thought even more impressive than the throw is the speed to cut it off in the gap. That's not easy to get over there. Backhand that ball, set yourself, and make that throw. There's the base hit from Victor. That was in the 3rd inning, and this catch you just saw. Look at that thing hooking away from him, laying out. What a beautiful play. And this thought just occurred to me. We're heading to Atlanta tonight after the game. If Victor plays, you're going to see 19, 20, and 21, 3 of the best young players in baseball, all in the same series.
Yeah, and 2 of them on our team. I like that.
I should say talented.
Sanchez first pitch swinging, bottom of the 5th. Adrian fly ball to pretty deep center field first time. Triple-double against the Cubs in Game 2 on Saturday. First time up in that game, he had pinned Almora up against the center field wall with a long drive. Joe Ross due to bat 3rd. He's at 74 pitches, just battled through a couple of tough hitters. And Sanchez the other way for a base hit.
I mean, should we nickname him the dentist, maybe? I don't know. Here's the caught stealing. He can really throw. That time from his feet. Usually he goes to a knee and throws a dart down there. So you do that, then you come up the next inning and go deep for your 2nd career tater. 414, 26 degrees. That's a bad one. Yeah. But you know why? Because everybody likes Spencer and nobody likes the
Well, he drilled a throw and he drilled a homer. Joe Ross is on deck after that mound visit. Caratini and Baez conferring with Montgomery. So it's the young guys getting it done offensively today. Kieboom, Robles, Sanchez. And Mark Reynolds for Ross, if Davey so decides.
Mark on the left.
Thanks. I was wondering who that big bat was on the right there. There's Joe Madden. He's had Jesse Chavez warming up this inning. Earlier, Alec Mills, who was added to their bullpen, was warming up, and his starter with a lead will not go 5.
He did not like that throw over.
Your state's added over 100,000 jobs since 2015. Maryland Open for Business. Be part of the action at open.maryland.gov.
I think they're off the casino.
2-4-0 Cubs, 1-3-0 Nats. Pitching change. 35-year-old Jesse Chavez. Big leagues since 08 with the Pirates. And for the Cubs, it'll be his 26th appearance. He was with the Rangers for 30 games. A save there, 3 with the Cubs, ERA 150. Only 5 runs, 22 hits in 30 innings in the Chicago uniform. Kieboom is 0 for 1 against him. Well, it's that time of the year. Cubs lead in the Central down to a game. Joe Madden playing it very close to the vest. And his starter with the lead gives up a leadoff hit in the 5th, and he is out.
Well, he's probably seeing another home run from Kieboom off Montgomery, even though Mike Montgomery did a nice job for the Cubs today. And he said, you know what, I can't afford to see that. I got to get a right-on-right matchup right now.
It was interesting. Rizzo caught that throw and took a step or two reaching for Sanchez. He's a little closer. Well, he'll come off the bag again. He comes about 2 steps toward the pitcher from the first base bag. Oh, and Spencer Kieboom. We heard a sound, and he's not acting like he got hit. Did that get the knob of the bat or another part of the bat?
I think this just scared him. Watch where this gets the bat.
Wow.
And if it didn't get the bat, it would have got his chin. The bat just saved his life. He said, my bad, bro. It scared Chavez. Watch the bat save Spencer Kieboom's face. And he's lucky that didn't ricochet up and hit him after it hit the bat. But if it didn't hit the bat, that would have been ugly.
So a foul ball. Scary moment. 0-2 now. Target away from Caratini. And Keyboom hits one to right. Bryant is there. First out, 5th inning. Joe Ross being called back.
All right, enhance your next game day experience with the MLB Ballpark app. Access and manage your tickets. Enjoy check-in offers, exclusive content, much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app right now. Another good at-bat by Spencer, especially after a near-death experience. That was scary.
Andrew Stevenson will go lefty against the righty for the Nats. Joe Ross will go 5 innings. Couple of runs on 4 hits, 2 walks, 74 pitches, 47 strikes. Stevenson as a pinch hitter, 4 for 23, a homer, 7 RBIs. Facing Chavez for the first time.
Usually young players have trouble adjusting to 1 at-bat a day, but Andrew Stevenson's done a nice job off Davey Martinez's bench. He's given him quality at-bat after quality at-bat. Just getting 1 shot a night.
Big hit in a big rally in Philly. And that's off the plate, 3-0. And with the runner on the move, he tucks it in right behind Sanchez. Great execution by Andrew Stevenson, and runners to the corners with 1 out.
I mean, it's just not that easy, especially for a young player. This is what he does. Off the bench, gives you a good at-bat, gets into a 3-1 count, gets his pitch, and goes the other way. Kind of surprised Addison Russell was covering here. If you watch Andrew Stevenson play, he's a guy that hits the ball that way. And usually you switch up the coverage when you have a lefty that goes the other way consistently. That time Russell was covering. There was a huge hole there. 1st and 3rd, 1 out. Game on.
Yeah, here's Victor Robles. Base hit to left last time. Nats 90 feet away from tying the game. Robles up there hacking. Strike call on a pitch up.
Yeah, been a big strike zone today.
Now he's got a battle. Target away. And that's well outside. Robles gets it out into center. Ian Happ coming forward for momentum. No chance. Tie game. Victor Robles, the RBI, his first of the year.
That boy, let it go. That way.
And the 5th of his big league career.
Nice at bat, putting the ball in play with 2 strikes, getting it deep enough for the sac fly. Well, for two tired ball clubs, it's a pretty good affair.
That run charged to Montgomery. So Joe Ross is off the hook. And you never know how the inning might turn out to make him a pitcher of record. Here's Turner. Trey up there hacking. He's hit into bad luck on the infield. Hard liner to short, hard liner to first. This time Rizzo's holding a runner. Line drive he hit to Rizzo 2 innings ago was about 20, 25 feet off the first base line. Oh, 2. On the move, Stevenson, swing and a miss, inning over. But a Sanchez base hit, a Stevenson pinch hit, and a Robles sac fly will get the Nats back even through 5.
Guy hits a baseball. Andrew Stevenson is a guy that hits the ball the other way. So you're going to watch Addison Russell right here cover second base and go to the bag. Stevenson, a guy that goes that way, and look at the hole that's vacated there by Russell going. That's one where you switch up coverages and you say, hey, this guy's an opposite field hitter. Maybe my second baseman covers, and you watch Russell vacate. That would have been right to him if he stays there in a 2-1 ball game with a lot riding on it for the Cubs. That could be a big play in this ball game. You know, maybe they don't know Andrew Stevenson like we do. We get to see him play a lot. We know that he's a guy that goes the other way, but in this big situation right there, Russell covering, vacating shortstop, left that hole open. You got a first and third situation. Now you got a tie game. It's a big play.
29-year-old lefty Tim Collins for the Nats. 30th appearance, 17 hits, 16 Ks in 18 2/3. Daniel Murphy 0 for 2 against him. Pair of fly ball outs, and Murphy 0 for 2 against Joe Ross. It's a bullpen day now. Each starter will get a no decision. And Collins ahead.
You know, generally speaking, Carp, as a middle infielder, you're saying, all right, 3-1 count, lefty up. He's probably in pull mode right here. But if you know Andrew, that's where he hits the ball. We've seen him hit a lot of balls in the 5.5 hole that way. And maybe a case of a young player and a veteran not really knowing that Stevenson's a spray hitter.
Cubs box. Rizzo has hit the ball hard a couple of times. Robles has kept him from having a big day. Bryant to base hit. The RBI's Baez, 4th inning double. Caratini right after him, base hit. The mitt was up from Keyboom. 2-2.
Spoil it.
Two. Got him under Murphy's hands with some run on it. First strikeout by a Nats pitcher today.
Little cutter, starts it off the plate, runs it back. Look at that. Just cut enough to get the corner, and Murph couldn't fire off his swing. Great pitch by Collins. Route number 1 here in the 6th.
Daniel Murphy now 0 for his last 15. Here's Baez. And he'll be facing a right-hander. So Tim Collins, situational, does well to start the 6th. Jimmy Cordero, he's hot, been warming for a while. He's got Baez. So after this one, 3 in Atlanta, you're looking at the entire remainder of the road trip that already took us to Philly. Just a 2-game series in Miami. Nats will get back late in the wee hours next Wednesday, but they'll have a day off before the Mets come in for 4. So there you have it. Next 5, and they probably need all 5. Larger than life, Max Scherzer in Atlanta tomorrow. Braves have Kevin Gausman scheduled.
Max in Atlanta today. Flew ahead.
Hey, Max. Hope you're enjoying an afternoon of baseball with your 2 buddies. Dan, too.
He's watching the Cubs feed. He's sick of us.
Baez and Caratini here. Javi Baez, 1 for 2. He dropped an RBI double right down the right field line first time. And he drives that one to right field. Bullpen, 3-2 Chicago. That's his 31st and RBI number 102.
Yeah, 31st home run of the year, and a guy you can't really throw strikes to. He's going to expand the strike zone. He's still hit right around 300 with those numbers. Good bad ball hitter, but he doesn't miss those. And you were a little nervous when you saw he was 1 for his last 8 coming into today.
Yeah, 2 for 3. Double homer, 2 RBIs. Here's Caratini.
The Rockies putting it on the Diamondbacks right now, 10-3 in the 8th.
Yeah, they're about to win their 81st ball game. They walked off the D-backs bullpen last night in dramatic fashion.
Never won a division title.
Yeah, every time they've been in, it's been as the wild card, even when they went to the World Series. Inside, 1-2.
Triple digits.
And Cordero has it to Zimmerman, 2 outs. David Bodie is 1 for 1 career with a double against Cordero. He's lined out to Bryce Harper today and then hit a fly ball to Bryce. 2nd inning, 4th inning. Big guns coming up for the Nats in the bottom of the 6th. That's why they have lefty De La Rosa ready. Harper and Soto around Rendon.
'99 with cut.
Well, some interesting young arms have emerged from this Nats bullpen transition. This young man, Wander Suero, Coda Glover's back, healthy. And those are the young guys to go with the veterans, Doolittle, Miller, Holland. Matt Grace has really emerged now. Big breaking ball, swing and a miss. You talk about driving a ball hard the other way. That's what Baez did to put the Cubs on top. So here's Harper, Rendon, Soto, 3-4-5 in a 1-run game. International, providing innovative, high-value dental and vision benefits to area employers and individuals. Yes, we said dental benefits. Without a tooth, with a tooth. Spencer Keyboom hitting home runs. Cubs 3-2, 3-5-0 Chicago, 2-4-0 Nats. 37-year-old veteran Jorge De La Rosa. First year in the big leagues was 0-4 with Milwaukee. He's pitched in 424 games, made 241 starts, and for the Cubs, after time with Arizona this year, this will be his 12th appearance. 10 hits, 12 Ks in 15 innings. And Bryce Harper's 5 for 14 career against him.
Yeah, Bryce about to see fastball, cut fastball, curveball. Probably won't see the changeup, although he's been known to throw it to lefties. Fastball 44% of the time, averaging 92.
Fly ball to left and a strikeout against Montgomery today, so Bryce gets lefties. Caratini held it there for a while, 1-1. Steve Cishek. Cubs have 14 relievers. Nats somehow getting by with 12. And a 2-1. That took a little bit off. 2-2. All right, now from third base to right field goes Baez. From up the middle to deep short goes Russell. Target away from Caratini. And De La Rosa misses down and away. Ball 3.
I'll tell you what, Javi Baez might be the first rover in the history of Major League Baseball. I would put him exactly where I thought every hitter was going to hit the ball. Why wouldn't you want your best defender at the highest percentage of ground balls wherever they're hit? In any hitter.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Just move them around the whole game.
Now De La Rosa strikes out Harper. Mercedes-Benz pitch cast.
And a change up there. He did turn it over to Bryce.
Well, here's Anthony Rendon. De La Rosa stays for the right-hander after retiring Harper. Anthony 3 for 16 against him.
I guess the only problem with that idea is you'd put other guys in positions they're not real comfortable with. You know, if you move Baez, say, to short right now, Addison Russell's a good shortstop, but I think Javi Baez better defensively. So you put Russell at third, and he's uncomfortable over there, and now you have one guy in a good position, another guy in a position where he's not feeling it.
Oh for 1 with a walk, Rendon today. Long look, Pat Hoberg called it ball 2.
Deep breath, go to work. The Bryce Harper sleeve on again today. If you missed it last night, he wore Bryce's sleeve and went big fly.
2-2 in a one-run game. Made him kind of reach up and away. Couldn't get to it. 2 Ks for De La Rosa. Now another lefty-lefty matchup with Soto.
See, but the way this lineup's been working, and Davey Martinez has stuck with the lineup for a long time now. It's been super consistent, and Zim behind Soto's dangerous. So this isn't like, hey, pitch around Juan Soto here. You got your left-on-left matchup. You have to pitch to him right now because Zimmerman's dangerous on deck. Unless you go Cishek versus Zimmerman, which is probably going to happen.
Soto 0 for 3 career against De La Rosa. Just for reference, Ryan 1 for 8 career against Cishek.
Careful right here.
Outfield deep all around. Big gap right center. And he went with the splitter inside. 3-0.
Green light?
Sure. Now it's 3-2.
One-run game, bottom of the 6th. One of the hottest hitters in baseball. Huge pitch coming right here, right now.
To the right side. Rizzo can't get it. Murphy can't get it. Juan Soto extends his on-base streak to 18 ball games, one of the longest ever for a teenager. And he gets Ryan Zimmerman in the box here in the 6th.
You talk about a ground ball with eyes. Check this out. The slip by Anthony Rizzo was the difference there. I didn't see that live. Did you see that little misstep there when he went for the baseball? That got it by Rizzo, got it by Murphy.
So Mel Ott, Mickey Mantle, and Al Kaline, the only teens ever since 1920. There were no teens in baseball before 1920, I'm sure. But he's got the 4th longest ever, and who knows how long this might go on. So the Cubs will make a switch here. They'll go to Cishek against Ryan Zimmerman. to the Cubs bullpen here, and Steve Cishek will get the call. Busy, 72nd appearance. 65 innings, only 42 hits, and 75 strikeouts.
The opponent's hitting 183 against Steve. Fastball, slider change, occasional change, mostly just 2 pitches. Fastball below 3/4 release point, averaging 90 miles an hour, threatening skies, but I'm looking on my radar. We're good.
Well, they say guys like this can throw every day because they go from down under. It's easy on the shoulder. Second most appearances in the National League, tied with Andrew Chafin of Arizona, 72. Diamondbacks Brad Ziegler, 75 games. The busiest relievers in the National League. As mentioned earlier, Ryan Zimmerman 1 for 8 career, but with an RBI against Cishek. 2-0. Ryan hit it hard last time, and David Bodie took away an RBI double from him, moving toward the line with a backhand diving grab.
Yeah, Ryan's power's to right center, and if you're facing a side armor, that's what you're thinking. Go the other way hard.
And they've got Ian Happ shaded that way. On the corner, 1 strike. And a 2-1 count. Two and one-ish. That one's got some run back to it.
That's where he usually breaks the slider off the fastball away. See if he triples up on the heater or goes to that slider here, 2-2. All right, head start.
Yeah, that helps down by a run. Soto about to take off.
Good numbers.
Wow. Yeah, they should just walk him. 2 on, 2 out for Sanchez. He's being called back, and Wilmer Defoe will get the call. So the Nats box, Victor Robles, a base hit, 2 great defensive plays, and a sac fly. Spencer Keyboom, his second big league home run. Sanchez already has a base hit, and Soto won in this inning that extended his on-base streak to 18 games. So here's Wilmer. Defoe faces Cishek for the first time, and Defoe's been better left side this year, 260.
It looked like Wilmer turned to Caratini and said, "That's a ball."
And he brings that breaking ball back. Wilmer in the air to right to Bryant. Nats will leave 2. They've stranded 5 today in this 3-2 game with the Cubs on top into the 7th. Work. Keyboom is homered. Robles has put on a nice show. And Joe Ross back on the mound today. What'd you think of his 5 innings?
I think he did a nice job today. I mean, that's a good ball club. The Cubs aren't swinging it like they've been used to all year. A little bit of a slump coming in, but you got some big hitters there. He did a nice job. Got some help from his defense. I like the changeup from Joe Ross, a pitch that he's incorporating more since the last time we saw him. And, hey, it's just about him getting back to the major level and coming out of this okay. Worked so hard to get here. The other night he finally gets on the mound. It gets rained out. So I think a real good one to build on for Joe Ross.
So Cordero stays. First pitch, Addison Russell, Trey Turner. 7th inning underway. Wilmer Defoe, after hitting for Sanchez, stays into play second. Albert Almora Jr. now hitting for Steve Cishek. Almora Jr. 1 for 1 with a double against Jimmy Cordero. '99. And 14 miles an hour slower on the slide piece. Left field, Soto got a good jump. Cap high catch on the run for the second out.
Our Oktoberfest returns to Nats Park Friday, September 21st, 7:05 Mets in town. You get the beer stein if you're 21 or over. 20,000 of those are going to be all over the ballpark, and I mean all over the ballpark. To get your tickets, visit nationals.com. One of the best giveaways of the year, so be here on the 21st.
Ian Happ walked twice by Joe Ross. Those were Joe's only 2 walks today. Didn't strike out anybody, but 5 solid innings. Hit a batter. 2 runs on 4 hits. Nats got him off the hook by tying the game in the 5th.
'98 was some late run. Nasty.
And a high fly to right. Bryce Harper well in front of the scoreboard. Shades down. And Jimmy Cordero gets his guys right back in the dugout. Telecast is presented by authority of the Washington Nationals and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Washington Nationals. So we'll summarize things here with Spencer Kieboom's second homer of the week and his big league career. Javi Baez, the big gun for the Cubs today, 2 of their 3 RBIs. And Joe Ross, well, he got to pitch an inning and 2/3 first time out FP, and I would call that a successful return to numbers that actually count in the big leagues.
They did a nice job. Pretty decent crowd here today for the makeup game against the Cubs. They've been into it from the get-go. Winterfest is right around the corner. That's presented by StubHub. It's at Nats Park this year, December 1st and 2nd. Early bird pricing is available right now, so if you purchase your Winterfest tickets before September 30th, you'll save tons of money. So home for the holidays, Nats Park. Go to nationals.com/Winterfest for more details. They'll be there.
Cubs, a couple of changes. First of all, Carl Edwards Jr. into the ball game. 27-year-old right-hander. He's been busy this year, 53rd appearance. 47 innings, only 34 hits, 63 strikeouts. Albert Almora Jr. in center. Adam Eaton pinch hitting for Spencer Kieboom. And then it looks like Matt Wieters in the pitcher spot.
What do you think? Adam Eaton's going to get Carl Edwards Jr. in the strike zone. Although 1-0 count here, never know. But Edwards has had trouble throwing strikes against the Nats this year.
Gets that one on the edge. A little surprisingly, Eaton has never faced him. Off to the left, and the count's 2-2.
Edwards Jr. fastball, curveball, 2 pitches. Fastball 12-6 straight down. It's firm at 81 miles an hour. Likes to go to it with 2 strikes. Looks like he's going heater in here.
He does. Eaton takes it like it's a 1.5 feet inside. And the count goes to 3-2. It's a good take. And this one, shallow center. Almora in. 1 out. Let's go down to Dan for a 7th inning report.
Oh, Bob, you say the 7th inning. That's a key factor in this little nugget here. Davey's been talking for weeks about how he likes how his team is coming back late in games. Well, here's this. Since August 21st, the Nationals have scored 50 runs in the 7th inning or later. That's the most in the National League. We've seen with this Nationals teams in past seasons. They've battled back late in ball games, a lot of comeback wins, a lot of dramatic wins. We've seen that come around over the last 3 weeks as well, and Davey really likes it.
Yeah, some would say the Nats have the Cubs right where they want them. Matt Wieters skying one deep to center for Almora. Going to take that one about 390 away for the 2nd out.
You know, when you get that feeling as a ball club, there's no panic. When you start coming back late, you feel like, all right, if we're in this thing, we got a chance. And on the other end of that, when you kind of shut it down from the 7th inning on, you feel like the game's over. But this team's got a good feel about them based on that report, what we've seen lately from the 7th inning on. They've snatched a lot of W's lately.
Yeah, including a couple from the Cubs. Went on to Philadelphia, did the same sort of thing. Victor Robles, first time against Carl Edwards Jr. And that'll even things up, 1-1.
Strike? I mean, it is, but is it? Nope. That's the guy you don't want to put on if you're the Cubs, and if you're Davey Martinez, you're hoping he gets on because he can fly. Big pitch coming, one-run game.
Whoa. Victor was trying to hit one to M Street to tie the game.
Yeah, I saw him set up in, and I was like, careful right here. This guy's got sneaky pop, and you could tell what was on his mind there in a 3-1 count. And that's how you're supposed to swing in a 3-1 count. Let the throttle out.
Well, we've had one first big league homer this week. 3-2 now to Robles. He will take the walk on for the second time. Plus he has a sac fly. That gets Trey Turner in the box here in the 7th. It's hard throwing Justin Wilson. You know, he's warming up for it. The last time that happened, Bryce took him a mile.
Motor stick broke.
Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, to the mound.
I think this is, hey, don't worry so much about Robles at first that you forget about Turner at the plate. Even though he's a tie and run, even though he can fly. I mean, you pay enough attention to him, but you don't divert all your attention to him and leave something hanging to Trey Turner who can bite you.
Trey, 2 line drive outs and a strikeout today. And he faces Edwards Jr. for the first time.
Caratini can throw too, don't forget that. Huge lead by Robles. He just got out there a full another step. 13-foot lead.
Ball 2.
Shortened up.
And then nobody at second. Just able to get there to take the throw was Murphy to keep that ball out of center field.
Delay steal.
Yeah. Robles' first big league bag.
You think he's going to go straight steal, shuffle, shuffle, go, and he caught Daniel Murphy napping. And either way, he's safe, even if Murphy's there, just because of the speed. You don't think about the delay steal with speed, guys, do you? And Victor Robles just caught the Cubs napping.
That's big. Anything gets through the infield, this game's tied. So Trey Turner with a count in his favor, 2-1.
I'll tell you what, I don't know who's faster between Robles and Turner. He can fly. I mean, that's twice today. A little ball in the dirt, and he was on second before he could even look up. And that one on the delay steal after the second shuffle, he was there. All of his tools really on display here. Haven't seen the power part of it, but the speed, the arm, the range in the outfield. He's going to be a good one.
2-2 now to Turner.
Trying to position Bryant more toward the line. Now Moore Jr. just moved more toward the gap in right center, and I think that's telling you they're going to throw him away here. Or at least they're seeing him late on the fastball with 2 strikes.
Everything to right. This one down the line and slicing out.
Good battle going on here.
Not biting on the hook, and it's 3-2.
Everything away. You're thinking fastball away here, aren't you, with Bryce Harper on deck?
That's what he got. Nats down by a run. Big time battle going on here. Harper waiting. Power lefty in their bullpen waiting. And Trey Turner got his bat slowed down by that breaking ball, but he gets it out of play.
It's a good game. Just imagine if this was a 1-game playoff to get to the playoffs. 1-game play-in. The only difference there'd be 40,000 people here, but I mean, it's been a great baseball game.
Yeah, considering the travel, wee hours arrival for both ball clubs. Very well played today.
Trey in swing mode right now. He is battling.
Turner to left. Off the wall. Game tied. Speeding to second. RBI number 63 on a rocket off the wall. 2-out walk came up big. 2-out double.
by Trey Turner. Kid's got his rally cap on. Trey got a fastball. That's the first fastball that was anywhere near the inner half of the plate. They tried to trick him and come in. The 11th pitch of the at-bat is an RBI double with 2 outs, and this game is tied. And Joe Madden's out to the mound. I thought they might walk Bryce Harper. But what an at-bat and what a clutch knock here in the bottom of the 7th by Trey Turner. Unbelievable.
So Trey's 160th hit, a big one for the Nats. It was the bottom of the 7th inning. After 1 out, Trey Turner got an infield hit. Anthony Rendon doubled off the wall. They brought in Justin Wilson to face Bryce Harper, and that happened. He knew it. Almost took the ball cap off the bullpen cart. And at the time, that was Bryce's 32nd of the year. The Nats went on to win 6-5. That swinged the difference to give the Nats the doubleheader sweep. So Wilson, 66th appearance. Harper overall 2 for 4 against him with a walk, that homer, and the 2 RBIs.
Yeah, lots of fastballs from Wilson. 75% of the time, averages 95.
.350 Cubs, 360 Nats. That was an 11-pitch at-bat double for Trey Turner to tie this game. Now he's going to third and no play. Standing up for his 38th steal.
If they're going to give it to you, take it. I think they're going to walk Bryce Harper here while we show you the replay. Yeah, there he goes.
Yeah, count goes to 2-0. So Rendon gets the lefty. Anthony Rendon career is 0 for 4 with a walk against Wilson.
You better be careful if you throw over to first here with Turner on third. Javi Baez is playing in left field, and Turner could steal home on a throw over. Baez just creeped up a little more to keep Turner closer.
Rendon hits it pretty well to right, but Bryant is over there. That's it for the Nats in the 7th. but Robles walks, Turner drives him in, and we're tied to the 8th. On Masson, brought to you by Lexus. Experience amazing. A beautiful view from across the Potomac, back toward the Lincoln Memorial and the district. And what do we have one for you tomorrow night? I would expect SunTrust Park to be hopping, and it should. The Braves have a darn good baseball team right now, and Max Scherzer's pitching for the Nats. Kevin Gausman for them, but it's all about Max and what he did to the Cubs here. Game 1 Saturday afternoon, complete game. 3 runs on 9 hits, didn't walk anybody, struck out 11, pushed his record to 17-6. And then when the Nats were all over Aaron Nola last night, maybe a big step toward the Cy Young. We'll get you going at 7 o'clock. That's a 7:35 first pitch in Atlanta tomorrow night. Matt Grace, the 4th Nationals pitcher. Anthony Rizzo goes up hacking. Zimmerman gets a piece of it and just can't get to the ball in time to make any kind of throw for Grace. Base hit, Rizzo. He's hit it hard 3 times today, swinging early in the count.
Yeah, base hit all the way. Ryan playing no doubles, and that ball kind of hooked back and handcuffed him, and then he tried to do the behind the back watch. And it got caught in between whether he fielded it to the backhand or regular, and Cubs with the leadoff man aboard here in the 8th.
Matt Wieters stays in to catch after pinch hitting. Chris Bryant, 1 career plate appearance against Matt Grace. He was intentionally walked, and that's a strike. Well, Rizzo was ready to play last night with the uniform and the eye black, and he's been swinging first pitch most of the day. 1-1.
Well, hard. I wonder if, has a team ever had a theme trip where they all just wear their unis on the field? Everyone?
Yeah, that'd be a unique theme. Our own uniform.
Cleats and all. Just go straight to the bus from the game. Full uni, dirty or not.
Rizzo came into this game 0 for 16. He's been swinging it well. 1-2 to Bryant.
You know, they wear basketball unis, they wear football stuff. Why not just sport your own uni straight from the game to the plane?
Yeah, folks would say, hey, there's a bunch of guys dressed like the Cubs.
Hey, what team do you play for? We could wear our headsets on the plane with them.
1-2. Bryant. And Defoe can't get it. Rizzo stops at second. Next up, lefty, Grayson Murphy. Matt faced him once since Murph became a Cub and retired him on a fly ball. Daniel 0 for 3 today.
I mean, look at the way this game has gone. The Nats scored 1 in the 3rd, the Cubs 2 in the top of the 4th. The Nats scored 1 in the 5th, the Cubs 1 in the top of the 6th. The Nats scored in the bottom of the 7th, and here we are in the top of the 8th. It's been a back and forth affair here. Great ball game.
Greg Holland. Murphy jammed. Took him a while to get out of the box. Zimmerman leads Grace, and he beats Murphy to the bag. Rizzo to third. Bryant to second.
That's
1 out.
Good as a bunt for the Cubs. Not what Daniel Murphy was thinking about. Nice pitch by Matt Grace. Good job of getting over there. But a productive out, and now what do? Walk him? Yeah, see ya.
Yeah, Baez has never faced Grace, and the bases are going to be loaded. A force at every base. Double play possibility with 1 out. Caratini, the switch hitting catcher, to the right side now, where he's hitting only 146 this year. 41 ABs and 6 hits.
Yeah, I don't think he's hitting here.
Not anymore now.
Yeah. Gotta be Zobrist here, doesn't it?
They have Contreras, they have Gore, and the switch hitter Zobrist. So
Contreras.
it is the catcher, Wilson Contreras. Contreras is 1 for 2 with a homer against Matt Grace. Wilson Contreras has hit into 13 double plays this year. So, move, counter move.
This is a great game. I mean, it feels like October right now.
Fans shouting each other down. Matchups coming.
children and their families by making a donation of $44 to the Children's Inn at NIH for every strikeout by a Nats pitcher this season. Greg Holland to face Wilson Contreras. Bases loaded, 1 out, top of the 8th.
Yeah, big save Tuesday night, game 2 in Philadelphia. Contreras 0 for 4 career against him with 1 strikeout. Really in at the corners are Rendon and Zimmerman. Turner and Defoe halfway to play it either way up the middle. Ball 1. Counts even. Rizzo led off with a hit off Zimmerman's glove. Bryant flared one over Defoe. Baez walked intentionally. 1-1. Holland to Contreras. Outside.
Well, if you're Contreras here, you're betting on fastball, and I wouldn't be surprised if Holland decides on the slider. We'll see what happens. Got to block the slider if you're Matt Wieters here. He knows it.
Crowd of 30,173. That includes tickets sold to the Sunday game, but a good crowd here considering the circumstances. Rescheduled game, middle of the week. Both teams traveling back into DC to play one game, and it's been a fantastic affair so far. So the count 2-2 with 1 out. Swing and a miss. Holland with 93 for the second out.
That was a late swing by Contreras, and I'm thinking that he's thinking a slider was coming, and he had to go emergency hack to the fastball. Late swing there, right? And maybe just enough slider in the back of his head to get that fastball by him for strike 3. So I'm thinking slider. I think he was thinking slider, and the fastball snuck by him.
100% fiber optic network, 100% phenomenal. You saw the Fios by Verizon Exmo. Visit getfios.com.
That was clutch, but a big one to get here in Ben Zobrist.
Yeah, now Zobrist for Bodie. Ben Zobrist, career against Greg Holland. I'm not ready to give you the number just yet.
That either means it's really good or really bad.
There it is.
Well, that's on the truck if he gets a hit.
3 strikeouts in that series of matchups. And Zobrist bounces it foul. Dancing off the mound, throwing a slider. Holland all over the place when he landed after that one. It's 0-2.
That was filth and muck.
Red on the right side, blue on the left side. Fans standing. And the 0-2. He got him. Holland strikes out Contreras, strikes out Zobrist. to keep it. A 3-3 game to the middle of the 8th. Cubs had the bases loaded with 1 out, and Soto's about to lead off. How about that?
Allen for 2 big punch outs. Bases loaded, 1 out. Contreras pinch hitting for Caratini. Snuck the fastball by him. Huge pitch. And then Ben Zobrist, maybe the Cubs' most consistent hitter all season long, gets 3 sliders in a 3-pitch see ya. And in Ben's defense, those were all nasty sliders, especially the last 2.
Big time job to bail the Nats out. We go bottom 8. And Davey checking his card. 35-year-old Brian Dunsing for the Cubs. 46th appearance, high ERA, 39 hits, 31 earned runs in 36 innings, adding up to a 7.75 earned run average. So that's Terrence Score in left, and Contreras stays in to catch.
Dunsing 35, 6 foot, 200 pounds. Fastball, slider, curveball change. 4-pitch reliever. Fastball 91, 54% of the time.
Gore's batting 9th, their pitcher batting 6th. And that ball cranked into right. And right at Chris Bryant.
Any elevation, it's 4-3. This ball's smoked by Juan Soto. That's a pretty swing, isn't it? 111-mile-an-hour out.
So the pitching carousel continues. Pedro Strop on the way.
Beauty. Trey Turner ended it with a double off the left field wall. That would tie the game at 3. Victor Robles scoring easily. Walked. He stole second. And Trey would steal third for number 38. And that's where we're at right now. Hurry to your local Ford dealers for great savings on cars, trucks, and SUVs. It's been a real good game here today.
Ryan Zimmerman 3 for 10 against Pedro Strop. 33-year-old right-hander, 60th appearance. Tough to hit, 37 hits in 58 innings, 55 strikeouts. Ryan 0 for 2 with a walk today. Left side, it'll back up Baez. He's got a plant and fire, and he gets Zimmerman by an eyelash. 2 down. Both teams have played fantastic defense.
Yeah, I mean, backing up on this ball. Who has the arm to make this play? He knows he can't get the in-between hop or doesn't want it. Backs up for the big hop and then shows off the arm. Zim hustling all the way. Impressive.
Wilmer Defoe with 2 outs. 0 for 2 career against Strop. Sean Doolittle warming for the Nats. Up the middle, base hit. Speed, lead run aboard. 2 outs, bottom 8. Doctor. Sean Doolittle was up in the 9th inning last night, but when things got taken care of pretty quickly by Wander Suero, he didn't have to come close to getting into the ball game. Now we have Mark Reynolds batting in the number 8 spot, which is the pitcher's spot now. Reynolds 1 for 5, 2 walks against Pedro Strop. Defoe a short lead, inching off a little more, but not too long. Count in Mark's favor, 2-1.
Not a bad count to go on if you're Wilmer here. You're obviously going to go if this is ball 3 on the next pitch, but you might be able to sneak into second a pitch early.
Mark Reynolds called out on strikes. The Nats strand their 8th runner. Cubs have left 6. This classic 3-7-0 for both to the 9th.
event on September 25th at Nats Park. Purchase of a special ticket, you can enjoy an exclusive bourbon tasting and catch the Nats Marlins game at 7:05. Visit Nationals.com for all the details. I'll try that one. Go full Brockmeyer in that broadcast. Check it out. The Doctor in the golf cart for the second time. Obviously a tie game, not a save opportunity. And Dan's got more on the Doctor for you.
FP, Sean Doolittle's appearance 2 days ago, he walked a batter and allowed a run. That was the first walk that Sean Doolittle has issued since all the way back on April 11th. 32 innings in between bases on balls allowed. Davey Martinez saying after the game that he felt like Sean still kind of getting his feet wet a little bit coming back from the disabled list. We'll see what he has here in a tie game in the ninth.
7-8-9 for the Cubs. First up, Addison Russell facing Doolittle for the first time. Sean's 38th appearance. Amazing when you look at this. 18 hits in 39 innings allowed. 52 strikeouts. Russell 0 for 3. And then Almora Jr., the center fielder. And then Terrence Gore, the left fielder. Looked like he stopped 2-0. And he was pumping well ahead in the count. He went that time, and the count's even. Rendon waiting for it, scoops, skips, and throws for the out. Next up, Almora 0 for 1 against Doolittle. Nobody warming for the Cubs. Pedro Strop, 8 pitches, 6 strikes to end that 8th inning. Nats will have 9-1 and 2 up, and if anybody gets on, it'll get to Harper. Now it's Turner on the charge, and the ball came up on him, and the Cubs have a runner aboard. Been a long time since Trey made an error. It should be number 12.
He might have been safe if he fielded. The way Trey went after this ball and Almora Jr.'s speed, he kind of sat back on it. The ball came up and bit him, but I was watching the ball in relationship to the runner, and this was going to be super close at first.
Obviously a bad hop at the end. They give him the error.
It's an error all the way, but I think the way he sat on it was going to make it interesting.
So here's Gore, who can fly. His first at bat against Doolittle.
Guy can fly. Maybe faster than Robles and Turner.
Yeah, Anthony Rendon well onto the grass at third. And the bunt straight backhand to the screen.
I mean, the way Zim's charging and the way Anthony Rendon's charging. Your best bet might be at second, even if it's a good bunt with Gore's speed. And you know this guy invented the internet too.
In the air, Doolittle's got it. Zimmerman got to the bag, and the out call from Brian Knight.
That's just a bad read at first base by Almora Jr. I mean, this ball's up in the air. Where's he going?
Pedro Stroper the double. He'll lead off the bottom of the ninth, followed by Robles and Turner if they all bat. And then if the inning gets beyond that, Harper will see action. So Strop got Zimmerman on the grounder, gave up the Defoe base hit, and then struck out Reynolds looking. Matt came in to pinch hit in the seventh. Fly ball to center, has been catching ever since. Murphy several steps onto the right field grass. Ball one.
This is big. This is like Michael A. Taylor leading off right here, because if he gets on, you think Taylor would pinch run and Severino would catch. You got three catchers now. But he could pinch run for himself if he hits one in the seats.
Checking his bat, tapping the knob against the dirt to make sure he didn't hairline fracture that thing. Wieters to the left side, and Baez has plenty of time. Now a couple of speed guys, Robles and Turner. Victor 0 for 1 against Strop.
So we've seen the arm, we've seen the range, we've seen the hitting on the base hit, we've seen the speed. The fifth tool is
Babamo.
I mean, you might as well show them all today, right, Victor?
Base hit, a walk, sac fly, a run. First big league steal. Uncertain swing for a strike.
Be ready for the quick pitch too with Strop. If you look down for a second, he'll start his delivery.
And the 1-2. Jammed him. Ball popped up right side. Rizzo. 2 down. Cubs have 2 lefties. Randy Rosario, Jaime Garcia left in the bullpen. Nobody throwing with Harper on deck after Turner hits here. Trey is 0 for 1 career against Pedro Strop.
Trey swung the bat great all day. Lined out the short first time. Hit a bullet to Anthony Rizzo in the 3rd. And then the clutch double we showed you. The 11 pitch double off the wall. So he's feeling it. Good take.
Big sweeping breaking ball. 1-2. Ball gets away and Turner's going to make it to first on a strikeout.
Oh my goodness. Huge turn of events here in the bottom of the 9th. Joe Batten looking at his scorecard, shaking his head. Now what do you do? Castillo couldn't get over. And now you got 38 stolen bases at first and your guy at the plate. Here we go. Game on, folks.
Bryce Harper is 1 for 3 career with a walk against Strop. So he gets a righty matchup here. Calling it a strikeout and a wild pitch.
You steal here? Or do you let Bryce hit?
Ball 1.
Because if you steal, you're walking Bryce. Anthony Rendon's been swinging it, so I don't know, man. I think you let Bryce hit.
Harper to left. And after all these teams have done just to get here for this game, it's going to go into extra innings, 3-3. Sean Doolittle for another inning. 11 pitches, 6 strikes. That bunt double play saved him a bunch of pitches in that 9th inning, so here he goes. Doolittle and Rizzo. And for once, he takes the first pitch. Rizzo 0 for 1 career against the Nats lefty.
Was that called or swinging?
He called it real quickly. I thought the pitch was off the plate. Called it as if it was a swing. Or, pardon me, a take for a strike. Now that's up and in, 1-1. First time in 3 years. Sean Doolittle's. Well, we're hoping he makes it through too. It's the last time he did it, 2015. Rizzo, wow. Wilmer Defoe almost taken into right field by that one.
That was almost a 109-mile-an-hour family ender. Bullet off the bat of Anthony Rizzo. Hitting the ball hard all day. 1 out.
Chris Bryant 2 for 4. There's one of those lefties, Randy Rosario.
Yeah, Sean's had trouble with the feel for the changeup since he's come back. Fastball's getting there though. A lot of giddy up on it late.
Challenge Heater.
Oh, Twilight, I lost that. Time of night when it's tough to see fly balls.
This one hooked out into left center. Soto over to cut it off, but he knocks it down, and Bryant into second. 3rd hit of the day, and the Cubs have the lead run in scoring position.
Yeah, maybe if he fields this cleanly going to the gap, Bryant puts on the brakes, but he didn't slow down. As soon as the ball hit Juan's backhand and dropped, Bryant kept going. He's got great speed. When you think of Chris Bryant, you think of power, you don't think of speed, but he's super fast. And a 1-out double for the Cubs.
Daniel Murphy. Oh for 1 career against Doolittle. To his right, Defoe, and the ball falls out of his glove. Throws to third, but Bryant got back. A makeable play for Wilmer, and Murphy's aboard. 1st and 3rd, 1 out.
Yeah, I don't want to say Juan Soto's was a mistake because he was going in the gap. This is definitely a play Wilmer makes, but did you see the last hop? It stayed down. It was a high hopper in the last hop. If we could show that angle again. Watch it stay down here. And that might have tricked him. I think he's thinking he's going to field this right around his waist or mid-thigh. The ball stayed down, and on the run, he had to reach lower for it. Watch this. It stays down right here. See it stay down, almost like a changeup. Now he's thinking, uh-oh, I got to reach down for it. And I wasn't in position to reach all the way to the ground. And that's where that whole thing got weird. That second hop hit something soft and stayed low.
Derek Lilliquist to the mound. Javi Baez 0 for 1 against Doolittle. So a line drive out, a double, and an error.
That might have been throw him 4 high fastballs, even way above the Cubs logo on his chest. And if he wants to swing at him, let him. Don't throw him a strike here and gamble with the bases loaded.
'93 gets the foul ball.
Or go right after him.
Baez a bunt. Zimmerman deflects it. The Cubs score, and it's 4-3. Bryant down the line scores easily. For a moment, you thought Zimmerman might have a chance to get it on the fly.
But I'll tell you what, he surprised me. I thought, no way. I know Joe Madden likes this play, but the high fastball, I'm thinking, there's no way he's bunting here. You see Ryan all of a sudden sees him show. That ball was hitting the ground either way, and Baez with a clutch bunt to put the Cubs ahead. I did not see that coming.
Bunt, base hit, RBI. Baez, 3 runs batted in today, and Davey Martinez going to get Sean Doolittle. Coda Glover ready. Couple of things beyond Sean's control go wrong for the Nats here in the 10th, and the Cubs have the go-ahead run.
A homer, a walk, some decent plays at third base, and then the safety squeeze here off Sean Doolittle. And you're wondering, is this going to hit the ground? And if it did, it was a double play. Did you see Murph take off there? Ryan gets that. It's a double play. They were looking at each other going off the field. And I think that's all about. Sean was like, I wanted it to be my best bolt against your best bolt. Like, let's do this thing, Old West style. And Javi Baez decided to bunt. And it was a smart play, turns out.
Well, they're in a pennant race. You can't argue with the result. And now it's Coda Glover against Wilson Contreras. Glover unscored upon last 9 appearances, including a scoreless, clean 8th inning last night.
You know, it was weird about that after Almora Jr. got doubled off on the bunt. You'd think Daniel Murphy would have been a little more hesitant there, but we showed you that replay, and he just took off. You know, for some reason, that bunt carries to Zim. That's a double play, and the inning's over.
And I noted the little hop the ball took on Defoe on his play. They've now changed that to a base hit.
That's generous.
Yeah. So 2 on, 1 out. Contreras against Glover first time, swing and a miss.
Important to keep it 4-3. The Cubs still have to get Juan Soto and Anthony Rendon out, or Rendon and Soto in that order, and Zimmerman.
2-1.
And the way this one's gone, who knows? Keep it 4-3, see what happens.
Yeah, there aren't many lockdown bullpens around baseball at this stage of the season. Milwaukee's the one that comes to mind. Those guys have been amazing, but the Nats have made some good ball clubs pay lately, late in games. So your point, very well taken to try to keep it 4-3 here. 2-1 pitch. Sails up and in. It's still the lefty Randy Rosario.
That's a balk, isn't it? Stepped off. Look to second first. So he steps off.
I think you're okay as long as you don't give a throwing motion. 3-2, runners moving, and the bases are loaded. The pitcher spot is due up now for the Cubs. And I wondered if Pedro Strop might stay in for Rendon before they go to Rosario for Soto. And here's our answer. Tommy La Stella was out on deck. Could have been a decoy.
Interesting. Strop's got a decent swing if I remember right. But he's got to make Cody Glover throw strikes. You think he's taking a strike here. And they're talking about squeeze potential. That's why Matt Wieters went out there. Hey, if he lays one down, that's what we're doing.
Pedro Strop career 0 for 3. 1 at bat in each of the last 3 seasons as a Cub.
I don't know that they'd even try that with a reliever against 96.
The reliever's got to throw strikes. Still only 1 out in this inning.
It's a very interesting move by Joe Madden, isn't it? Instead of going for the knockout blow, he wants the right-on-right matchup, Strop versus Rendon in the top, or the bottom of the 10th.
1-1. Yeah, his best player bunts for a base hit.
You got Schwarber down there. You got La Stella down there.
Strop hits it hard. Rendon home. And then, after taking a second to find the plate, Wieters throws out the pitcher, and Pedro Strop, I don't know if he had a tweak of a hamstring or something, but he pulls up lame. And we'll have to check that play at first. It took Matt Wieters a while to get that ball delivered.
I think he's safe, or it looked like it from up here. Matt Wieters looked down to make sure he touched home plate. And what do you got? Oh, he's out.
So it looks like a 5-2-3 double play. Cubs are challenging.
What a crazy game. What do you think, Carp? Do you think he was out? Is there enough to overturn the call?
That's a big thing. Is there enough to overturn it, to show him clearly safe?
Whenever it touches Ryan's glove anywhere before his foot hits, and I don't know if there's enough to overturn that. They're going to look at it. It's close.
It's a double play. 5-2-3 on the twin killing. It's a one-run game, but now it looks like there's no way Strop could stay in and pitch. Teams coming into town to play one game. Trey Turner tied it with a double off the left field wall back in the 7th. The Cubs have taken the lead. It's a big day all around for Baez. Double, homer, walk, bunt base hit, 3 RBIs. And Victor Robles has been busy in his assignment as the Nats leadoff hitter. So obviously Pedro Strop is done. They'll go ahead and bring in Randy Rosario now to face Rendon, the righty, Soto, the lefty. And we'll see how the Cubs play it beyond that. There are a couple of guys starting to play catch in their bullpen. Randy Rosario, 24 years of age. First full year in the big leagues, couple of games with the Twins last year. 38th for the Cubs. 41 hits in 44 innings with 27 strikeouts. And because it's an injury situation, he can warm up as long as he wants. Several Nats have faced him already. We'll give you the matchups as they come up.
We have fastball slider change. Fastball 93.3 on average, 61% of the time. Lots of sliders as well. Here we go.
Anthony Rendon 0 for 1 against him. So is Soto.
I don't know why, I just have a feeling that double play was huge.
Ball 1 up and away. Rendon pops it up right side. Anthony Rizzo. Next up, Soto hit the ball as hard as you can last time right at Bryant right after a base hit. Jaime Garcia is the other lefty. And then Alec Mills, who joined their bullpen since the Nats saw these guys on Sunday, is the right-hander. So Garcia is the last of their 5 lefties out there. Zimmerman on deck. It's all about Soto and Rosario here.
I mean, you don't want the winning run of the plate in the form of Ryan Zimmerman that kind of knows what he's doing in those situations.
That's up and in. 3-0 to Soto.
Normally I'd say green light scenario here, but he hasn't been close. Well, he was close to hitting him. That's about it.
Strike call, 3-1.
Might not be a bad thing.
Soto right slide slow roller. Murphy 2 down. Now does the lefty stay for Zimmerman, who he's never faced, or does Joe Madden go with Alec Mills, who has a grand total of 6 games pitched in the big leagues? For now it looks like the lefty, who's never had a big league save. Johnny Holiday, Ray Knight, Nats Extra whenever this one is over. Nats got back from Philly 1 o'clock this morning. Cubs got here from Chicago at 3. Most of the players reported between 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock this afternoon for a 4:05 first pitch. And here we are in the bottom of the 10th.
Maybe some healthy hacks here. You can bet on that.
So Ryan hasn't faced this guy. Saw a fastball. He's behind.
1 to measure.
Target away. Strike 2 call.
That was painful.
This ball game is a full game difference for the Cubs between being a half game up and a game and a half. Same for the Nats as far as their pursuit. And it's 0-2 now. rookie who's never been in this situation before and a veteran who has been many times. Swing and a miss. He gets his first save, and the Cubs win the ball game to go a game and a half up on Milwaukee. 4-3 in 10 innings. For the Nats, it's on to Atlanta for Max Scherzer and Kevin Gausman tomorrow night. They'll begin a 3-game series and 5 left on the road trip. We'll get you going with our coverage tomorrow night at 7 p.m. This has been a presentation of Masson. Johnny and Ray straight ahead from the ballpark here. Big day for Javi Baez, and the Cubs outlast the Nats. 4-3. So long for just a while.